Coach, we saw a couple different variations or some new formations last year, that pistol offense. As you look at your talent, wanting to get the best players on the field at the same time, could we see Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson on the field at the same time?
Well, they actually were last year.
Yeah.
You know, if it dictates it, you know, I mean, the one thing I do know is last time I checked, we still only get to play with one football out there. And there is something pretty nice about having a fresh Trent Richardson or a fresh Mark Ingram in the game rather than run them ragged. I think one of the things we did a very good job of, where the first year I was here, we had an opportunity to finish in the fourth quarter a couple times and didn't. I think as the season wore on, those two guys being fresh, and, you know, I'm going to say this, you know, not to talk much about last year, but Roy Upchurch gave us a huge lift at times, which we need to develop that position as who's going to be that third down guy, then third and fourth back. But with those two guys kind of feeding off each other and keeping them fresh throughout the season and not beating the heck out of them, I think that really helps us in the long run, especially in a long season like this. And as I have found out in the last couple of years, this is a pretty decent conference we play in, okay?
Coach, I'm not going to get you into a depth chart situation, but obviously Greg's a returning
You know, I
senior.
appreciate that, by the way. Thanks.
Greg's
and, you know, last time I checked, with so many precursors like that, that usually means you're going to try, right? Here we go.
Greg's a returning senior, started
Sure.
every game last year. AJ's the next guy in terms of experience now, in terms of reps that he's gotten in practice. And I'm just curious, what do you see AJ's role this year? Will he get on the field? What does he have to do to get on the field? Do you like playing a second guy in certain situations?
Well, I think like we did last year with our backup, you know, early in the year we got him in a situation that, you know, early in the season where he actually got some valuable time. I think we ran, you know, a 2-minute drill a couple times with him in some games when we were able to. I think that position. I think the one thing to note, you know, at the quarterback position here, you know, I've been very fortunate now that we've been here a couple years, is we not only have AJ, but we also have a very talented guy by the name of Philip Sims. And, you know, those two guys were two of the highly recruited guys in the country, and rightfully so. I know sitting in that meeting room that I sit in every day with those guys, it is very comforting to know that I feel we have a lot of talent at that position. It's great for those two guys to have Greg in that room, because he is the, you know, the consummate guy that studies, you know, everything that we do, and they're learning from how to be a successful quarterback from a guy that's won a few games in his career. So from a preparation standpoint, I feel very comfortable with both those guys and where we're heading at the quarterback position.
Getting back to DJ, some of the guys were talking about him being probably one of the hardest workers. How different is DJ of today compared to DJ of a year ago?
Well, I think, you know, you guys will see him. I mean, he's totally reshaped his body. It's unbelievable what he has done to help himself from that standpoint. I mean, obviously he is a big guy, was, I think, size 22.5 shoes, and it always amazes me when I see those and think how many cows just got hurt when he puts those Nikes on. But, you know, what he has done is has really worked hard. And I think all our guys respect that. And you know, that's a little bit of a product of the system. We have gotten to the point now from a standpoint where everybody pushes each other. And that's an invaluable lesson right there, is to have your team actually not only recognize good performance, but strive to see how he did that, and then this is what I need to do. I think those are the things, and legacies passed on from guys that are in the program now to the younger guys. That's what builds the continuity, and those are the things that make you successful as a program. And, you know, it's just that part where all those guys feed in together that is great.
Well, two-parter real quick, if you don't mind. Greg and Julio both said that they're working on their timing Have you already seen a change there? And what's the key to the lack of turnovers, especially with fumbles? Because we've seen almost none.
Sure. And, we've done a good job of taking care of the ball, both in the air and on the ground. I would say for the turnover part, has more to do with what our defense does in a daily practice to try to create turnovers. And it forces us maybe, because of their intensity and how they approach the turnover game, it actually helps us in practice. And I think that has been a big thing for us offensively, is because going against our guys and Coach Saban and Kirby's defense on a daily basis actually helps our guys understand ball security a little bit. And the part with Julio and Greg working together, I feel, I'll say one thing about Julio Jones. This guy is an unbelievable talent, but the things he does, not only just with catches, the things he does as a complete player. I'm talking about practice, I'm talking about blocking downfield, I'm talking about knowing the different things about the defense. I mean, that's what makes a great player. And you've heard me say it before, statistics, guys. I mean, statistics are great as long as they create wins. And the one thing that these guys have done is they've figured out what it is to be a team player and what it is to understand what it takes to win the game. When games were on the line, when he absolutely needed it, I mean, he had a great last half of the season, nicked up in the early part of the season. I think what he did in one of those games towards the end of the year, I mean, you could see where a guy has an opportunity to take over a game when needed. And that shows you what kind of person he is, and I can't say enough good things about the guy.
Coach, you mentioned the continuity of the offensive staff earlier, and with the success you guys had last year, I'm sure there were opportunities, reports of some. What was it that led you to want to be back for another year?
Well, I think that probably the biggest thing is nobody really wanted me anywhere else. So there's a lot of places, and I said this when I came. I mean, guys, to be at the University of Alabama, to be in this conference, to work for a guy like Coach Saban, to work with the staff that we have and the continuity, I'm not sure where is any better, or what is any better. And, I can't tell you how happy I am and our family. I have a daughter that's in college here, one that'll be a senior in high school that, I'm kind of pushing her that way too. That'd be good. And, my son is starting football as a freshman at Northridge. And from a family standpoint, you guys that have spent any time in Tuscaloosa in general, what an outstanding place for family. What an outstanding place to raise a family and be happy about it. And to be coaching at the top, level of where we're at. I think, I count my lucky stars. I mean, being a kid from Montana, you never thought you'd be standing up here even talking to anybody like this in a room. So those parts are good. Hopefully someday we get an opportunity to, captain our own ship and see if I can screw that up,
Thanks, good.
All right. Thanks, guys.